everyone, and welcome to your next episode of Cooking with Nichole. Today we're going to make a keto breakfast pizza. It's Father's Day, and what a better way to surprise Dad with a really good breakfast. And so we're going to make a keto breakfast pizza. This is going to be a two-part video. We're going to make the crust. Once we're done with the crust, we'll pop it in the oven, and then after the crust is done baking, we'll take it out and we'll assemble it for the final shot for you. So what you're going to need for this breakfast pizza this morning is 4 whole large eggs, a 1/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, a teaspoon of minced garlic, 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, a 1/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream, 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. So how we're going to start out is we're going to blend the 4 eggs and the 4 ounces of cream cheese to form the base of the crust. You want to soften the cream cheese prior to making this so that you don't get lumps and clumps in there. So this has been setting out at room temperature for about a half hour. And then to speed up the softening process, I have cut it up into cubes just to make it go a little bit faster. And you're gonna pour it into, you can use a blender, you can use a mixer. I'm gonna use our Nichole this morning to make this process happen. And we'll put the lid on good and tight so we don't have a mess. And you're gonna blend this until it's nice and smooth. And then we'll add the other 2 dry ingredients to it. So I'm just gonna slip this on here and secure it. Because this makes a lot of noise, we'll bring you right back after the blending process is done. All right, so our eggs and cream cheese are nice and smooth. And so we're gonna take the blended blade off, the blender blade off. And we're going to now add our teaspoon of minced garlic, which is about the equivalent of 2 cloves of garlic. If you're not a fan of garlic, you can simply either eliminate it or cut that in half. And then we're gonna put our 1/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan in and our 1/3 cup of heavy cream. And then we're going to blend it again a little bit more until it's all well and combined. Once we're done blending that, what we're going to do is pour it over the top of our cheese. So you're gonna wanna take your shredded Parmesan cheese and spread this out on the bottom of your greased 9x13 pan. And prior to all of this starting, you want to set your oven for 350 degrees and preheat your oven while you are preparing the crust. There we go. And then your 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. And this is going to create the crust. When this bakes, the bottom of this crust with the cheese on the top of it really does create a bread-like texture on the bottom, and it's good and it's salty, just as if you were eating a bread crust. So we have our base here. So I'm gonna blend the egg mixture a little bit more. Once it's done blending, I'm going to pour that over the top of the cheese and then pop it in the oven for 30 minutes. You're gonna wanna watch it. Sometimes bubbles form on the top, and it's totally acceptable to kind of reach in and just pop that bubble so it flattens out a little bit. Once the crust is done baking, that's when we assemble our pizza. So I'll have a few pictures available for you for these steps in between here. We'll be right back. All right, so everything is well and combined, so now we're going to pour it over our 2 cheeses, the shredded Parmesan and the 1 cup of shredded mozzarella. Other cheeses that you can use on the bottom, you could use a shredded Asiago. That would be a really nice option as well. And so we're just gonna pour this over the top, and this is going to spread out really nicely and create our crust. Use our spatula here to get this all combined and just tap, and it'll fill in the holes. The egg mixture will fill in the holes of the cheese. So, and there you have it. And we'll slip this into the oven for 30 minutes, and then we'll bring it back when we make the toppings. All right, so our crust is fresh out of the oven, and as you can see, it's a nice golden brown on the top. There was a bubble that developed here, so like I said earlier in the video, just go ahead and pop that, and it does collapse down very nicely. So now we're going to assemble our pizza. We're going to put it back in the oven just for a short period of time. Once you take it out of the oven, you want to set your oven to broil. And so once we get it assembled, we'll put it back in the oven, and we're just going to broil it until the cheese is nice and golden bubbly. It really is only about a minute or two. So what we're going to use for our sauce for our breakfast pizza is I have pre-made some breakfast sausage gravy. I just buy a packet of the sausage gravy. It will be in the picture of the video of the ingredients. Just prepare it with its package instructions. It's just really whisking it into a couple of cups of cold water. And I'm going to use about a cup of it as our sauce. You may not need as much if you're not as big of a fan of this country gravy, but it will just create a nice base. You could also use Alfredo sauce on the bottom if you would like to, or you could make a white cheese sauce as well. That would also be a nice base on the bottom, just to give this a nice little bit of flavor. But I'm going to go with the sausage gravy this morning. Get it all spread out nice and evenly here. And then we're going to top it with a couple of scrambled eggs. So I've pre-made some scrambled eggs. This is 2 scrambled eggs. And we're just going to top that on the top here. You can just break it up into crumbles. If you want more eggs, you can certainly scramble more eggs. Do 3, do 4. But I thought 2 would be plenty, given the fact that we are going to put some meats on the top. So I have about 1/2 cup of crumbled bacon. And it doesn't look like we're going to even need the full 1/2 cup. And I've got about 1 cup of already browned ground sausage. And most likely we won't need all of this as well. As you can tell, this is a very meat lovers dense pizza this morning. So it looks like we're only going to use about 1/4 of a cup of that sausage. And then I have 1 cup of Italian blend 6 different kinds of shredded cheese here. And we're just going to top that on the top. Perfect. And then we're going to pop this back in the oven, and we're going to broil it. And like I said, the top is going to get nice and golden, and it's done. This recipe creates 8 servings. The best way to cut it up is go lengthwise and then create 4 squares in this direction. I'll have the rest of the nutrition facts information posted on the recipe itself. This is your Father's Day breakfast pizza recipe. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll talk to you all soon.